Hi, I'm Christopher Damari, Senior National Account Manager with Barrett Medical, the maker of Burt. So what I want to show you here are our modes. So we have three modes: training, assessments, and playlists. Most of what you'll be doing is in the training mode. So I'll explain that one, I guess, very briefly, but then I'll show it to you. Training is where our activities and games live. Assessments, we have strength assessments, and we also have range of motion assessments. We can show you a 3D graph of the patient's range of movement, as well as tell you how many cubic feet the volume of their range of movement. And then on playlists, well, what's a playlist? It's kind of like with Spotify or something. You create a playlist of songs. Well, in this case, you create a playlist of activities to string them together. So if you want to create like a 20-minute long training session of one game or activity following another, you can set it up like that. But most of the heart and soul here is in the training mode, and I can use this remote control, or I can use the mouse and keyboard to access these modes. So what you'll see here, once you're in activities, you'll see at the top of the screen, there's patient max, Burt assist, and then Burt resist. Now, we believe in truth in advertising here and make things as simple as possible. When we tell you what it is, the idea is like we want you to be able to figure out what the mode actually does. Well, with patient max, well, what does that mean? Well, it means the patient is doing the work. The only assistance the Burt is providing is the gravity elimination, that mobile arm support, so their arm feels like it's floating in water or floating in space. Burt assist is where, you guessed it, Burt is assisting. The motors in the machine kick in. Now that's up to you and how you want to use that as a therapist. You can trigger it using a button on the remote control, trigger the assistance. You can have it on a timer delay, or it's always on. It really depends on the game and what you're trying to do. The final mode is called Burt resist. And guess what that Burt's doing then? It's resisting. So it's resistance training. So what's the point of having movement and range of motion if you don't have strength? Well, in this case, we've developed a way where the Burt is resisting you and the patient's building strength. And that is actually part of like the virtuous circle that we have here at Barrett, where that came from one of our partners in Schenectady, New York. She was using the Burt for resistance by having the patient resist the assistance. And we're like, that's a really good idea. So we came back here to Massachusetts, and we folded that into our software, and we made it part of our Burt Care update, which there'll be a video about that as well. That's how we update the machine twice a year and add all those new great games and features. The final thing I want to show you is this padlock, which can be unlocked or locked, and that's for all three modes. You can do that. Well, what is that? Well, that is our way to cut down on compensatory movements. We can lock the patient into a virtual plane of movement. So, for instance, you've seen machines out there, I'm sure, in the past where it's a robotic upper body machine where the patient is limited to like a table, to one plane of movement. Well, we can do that here. We have an air hockey game that we can limit you to an air hockey table, a virtual table. You set the table height, and then the patient plays on that table. So we can cut down on those compensatory movements, and it's just another feature with Burt that we're trying to make it so that the therapist can do whatever he or she wants with their patient and just adjust the therapy accordingly. Thank you.